So, just want to watch this with you. This is a weird one, I think.
A very, very serious topic that's in the news at the moment, and this is the fact that there could be, there could have been a cover-up, there could have been a paedophile ring amongst the elite of Great Britain that led all the way to Downing Street. What do you say about that?
Well, these are extremely serious allegations, and that's why the government has moved so quickly to try and get to the bottom of exactly what they are. So in the case of the Welsh Children's Home, which I think is the key case at the moment, I said...
So, why did Phillip Schofield get that interview? Who is Phillip Schofield? Who's David Cameron? Like, what is going on? It's a bit funny how, as soon as Charles gets coronated, Phillip Schofield gets destroyed. And I mean, it goes bish bash bosh. One thing follows another. So, why now? Why Schofield? Why Saville? Why did... If they don't want us to know something, we'll never know. It'll go under the Official Secrets Act, and you will never ever know. You'll spend the rest of your life in jail if you ever utter the words. So, Jimmy Saville could have been protected all day long. Could have been protected to eternity. Phillip Schofield could have been protected to eternity. These people are not scared to kill people. You step too far, they'll just kill you. So if they want to silence people, and I mean, not cancel them, I mean, properly shut them up, cut out their tongue, they will do. So why? Why now? Why does it follow Charles's coronation? What's Charles? Everybody thinks that the coronations are just this matter-of-fact thing, as if, like, Charles hasn't got enemies, or the royals haven't got enemies. It's a well-known fact that communists want to abolish the monarchy. It's a well-known fact that Republicans want to abolish the monarchy. It's a well-known fact that every time a bloody communist state gets set up, they call themselves a republic. This is what they are. So Charles, who is Charles? Well, to understand who Charles is, I believe you've got to go back to World War I, when millions of people died, and the British, the English, got slaughtered at the Somme, and it was ingrained onto the English consciousness, the British consciousness. And not too long, well, before the end of the First World War, the Russian king had been killed by the Bolsheviks, and England was being run by basically Bolsheviks. But we had our king. Now, the Russian king was related to our king. So when, 20 years later, Hitler's having a war with the Bolsheviks, whose side do you think our king was on? The side of the Bolsheviks and Russia, who officially, that's whose side we were on. But the Bolsheviks murdered our king's family, his relatives. Now, if somebody butchered your family, would you support them in a war? Would you, heck? That's why you see pictures of the Queen or Elizabeth as a princess giving the Nazi salutes, because they all supported Hitler. They wanted Hitler to kill the Bolsheviks. They were more than happy to see the Bolsheviks get wiped off the face of the earth. But it didn't go that way, did it? It didn't go that way. Hitler got wiped off the face of the earth. Nazis got wiped off the face of the earth. Germany got utterly destroyed. But what happened before that? Edward VIII, by all accounts, tried to stop the war. He didn't want another bloodbath in Europe. He probably didn't want to side with the Bolsheviks. But nevertheless, back in, 1930s, who do you think had all the power? Because in the 19th century, the power was the Rothschilds. Everybody knows that. They were the preeminent people in the 19th century. But when the Yanks struck oil, all that changed. Like, they became wealthy industrialists in America. So, in the 20th century, the power weren't just the Rothschilds, it was also the Rockefellers. There was a new power, a new kid on the block. But nevertheless, Edward VIII was removed from the throne, and the war was forced, and we allied with the Bolsheviks to kill the Nazis and the fascists. But I do not believe our royal family supported that in any way, shape or form. They wanted the Bolsheviks to be killed, wiped off the face of the earth. The Bolsheviks still threaten them now. George VI came to the throne. I think it was George VI, Elizabeth's dad. And he was a pauper. He was not the Prince of Wales. The Prince of Wales is very wealthy. He has vast estates. It makes the king wealthy when he comes to the throne. That's the whole point of the Prince of Wales, is that he can gather his wealth and power before he comes to the throne. And when he comes to the throne, he has power. But George VI had no power. George VI had not many estates. He didn't have much money. And he didn't stay on the throne for long. Elizabeth came to the throne. Now, I'm guessing she didn't have much money either. And she had to toe the line. She had to toe the line, or she would be removed by the Bolsheviks as well. But eventually, Charles is born. And Elizabeth, knowing that her uncle had been removed from office, from the throne, I don't know, she had to toe the line. She had no choice but to toe the line. Now, I think she married successfully with Phillip because he was not an idiot. He wasn't one of these weak men that you see, that the kings have been, big fat oafs. Charles's dad was quite militant. And then you see Charles and Philip and the Queen having these relations with Jimmy Saville. And this is where it gets interesting, in my opinion, because I think the royal family looked at it as if we have a lot of Republicans in this country, we have a lot of communists in this country, and we could be removed from power and find ourselves getting hung. The French did the guillotines, the Russians used machine guns. What do the English do? We hang people. That's what we've done for centuries. We hang people. They'll probably get hung by their necks by the Bolsheviks if the Bolsheviks ever get their way. So I believe Jimmy Saville was a Crown agent who was going around entrapping politicians and celebrities so that they could be in the pocket of the royals. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. And the Bolsheviks tried to expose it. You know, the likes of fucking Phillip Schofield. Don't tell me he's not a Bolshevik. Check his rhetoric out. Absolute cultural Marxism. Phillip Schofield gets to ask David Cameron, who just happens to be related to the royal family. I believe you're seeing two enemies sat here. Two enemies facing off against each other. One trying to fuck the other. But in the end, Charles has had the last laugh. The royals have had the last laugh because they had that much compromise. They had politicians in their pocket, prime ministers, chancellors. They've more than likely got Rishi Sunak in their pocket. More than likely. But Charles, to get on the throne, one man has no power. You have to have allies. You have to make deals. It's just how it is. And Charles had to make a deal. And if you can see who he's made the deal with, he didn't make it with the fucking Bolsheviks, did he? Oh no. Oh no. He made it with all the fucking Nazis and the industrialists and the fascists who never really went away. Fascism won, for fuck's sake. It won, it carried on, it went into the Cold War. Fascism defeated communism. So Russia can't call themselves communist anymore. But the war is the same. It's still the same people. The Russians destroyed Germany. And some people will never forget that. They want revenge. They want to bash Russia up. They want to balkanise Russia. They want to split it up. They're not going to stop. And Charles had to make deals with these people. And he used all his influence, all his money, all his power, and all his compromise to get on the throne. And now he's on the throne. He's using his power. And Phillip Schofield was the first target. Let me tell you, Phillip Schofield was taken out by Charles. That's what I'm saying.